Hey guys, today on People Now. Hello, Facebook Live.
Savannah Chrisley recounts her scary car crash that left her with broken vertebrae.
We go inside People's new cover story about the case of Jeffrey Macdonald's conviction.
He says that 4 intruders came and that they perpetrated this attack.
Wow.
And the new evidence his attorneys are presenting to the court to exonerate him since he was convicted 35 years ago.
When we opened the card and we all read Beyonce, it wasn't just like, and the winner is Beyonce. It was like, the winner is Beyonce.
Right. She really is the human emoji.
Gold medal gymnast and winner of the Mirrorball Trophy, Lori Hernandez, is sharing that moment she met Beyonce. Plus, she's got a celebrity crush that she's sharing with us.
It's always about that balance of, especially when you have kids, spending time with the kids.
Nick Lachey tells us the secret to making his marriage work with wife Vanessa.
And all eyes on George and Amal as they step out again.
Let's get this started. Happy Hump Day, everybody. Welcome to People Now on People.com and Facebook Live. Great to have you here. We are talking to gold medal winner Lori Hernandez in just a little bit. The Olympic gymnast is only 16 years old, but already fulfilling so many of her dreams. We want to know, what was your dream job growing up? It's our Facebook question of the day. We're going to be sharing your stories, so post them in the comments below. We'll get to those live a little later in the show. But first, here's what you need to know and what's trending today. Former President George H.W. Bush was taken to the hospital over the weekend as a precaution after experiencing shortness of breath. His spokesperson confirmed early on Wednesday. The 41st president was admitted to Houston Methodist Hospital on Saturday, and spokesman Jim McGrath said in an email to the Associated Press, George H.W. Bush has responded very well to treatments. Doctors and everyone are very pleased, and we hope to have him out soon. And Bush's chief of staff, Gene Becker, told the Houston Chronicle and KHOU-TV that they expect Bush to go home in a couple of days. Bush, who served as U.S. president from 1989 to 1993, has a form of Parkinson's disease and uses a wheelchair for mobility. He was also hospitalized twice in 2014, once for 7 weeks with pneumonia and again for breathing difficulties. And in July 2015, he broke a bone in his neck in a fall at the family home in Maine. His office announced earlier this month that Bush and his wife Barbara would not attend Donald Trump's inauguration this week due to his age and health. Well, this week's People is taking you inside the long-simmering rivalry between brothers Aaron and Jordan Rodgers that tore their family apart. For several years, Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has been estranged from his family, including his brother, the Bachelorette star Jordan Rodgers. The two brothers in particular have had a deep-seated rivalry that's at the root of the fight. An insider telling People they've always been competitive. They're always trying to one-up each other. It's been that way since they were kids. They got older, the stakes got higher, they both have egos. Things were said on both sides that were regrettable. Things heated up even more recently when Aaron and Jordan's father gave an interview to the New York Times stating that the feud dated back to 2014. The situation became even more apparent when Jordan appeared on The Bachelorette and his brother was absent for that infamous hometown visit. Now, a source close to the family explains to People, nobody can understand how it's gotten to this point. The tension is very upsetting to everyone. Sources also insist that Jordan would never begrudge his brother for his success and that the blame for the estrangement is on a blow-up argument over nothing interesting. This apparent argument became ugly when their parents got involved. Excuse me. Aaron's longtime girlfriend, actress Olivia Munn, well, she has come under fire from fans amid the scrutiny of the Rodgers family feud. Many fans have accused Munn of keeping Aaron from his family, but an insider insisting that is not the case, saying Olivia doesn't have anything to do with it. If and when it comes time for the family to mend fences, Olivia will be supportive of anything that Aaron chooses to do. Those close to the Rodgers family hope for the best. The family source goes on to say that no one knows the whole story except for the family, and that it's never a good thing when families can't get along. For more on Aaron and Jordan Rodgers' family feud, make sure to pick up a copy of People on newsstands everywhere Friday. Moving on to this, Chrisley Knows Best star Savannah Chrisley is recovering after a serious car accident on Monday left her with broken vertebrae and pain throughout her body. The 19-year-old reality star and daughter of Todd Chrisley opened up about the accident in a lengthy Instagram post Tuesday, sharing a quote by Stephen Furtick that says, "The only way God can show us he's in control is to put us in situations we cannot control." Savannah goes on to explain what exactly caused the car accident, writing this, "I got in a car accident early Monday morning because my floor mat had gotten stuck behind my pedals, so I looked down for a brief second to try and get it out of the way. Then I realized I was heading straight towards the guardrails. I tried to overcorrect, but it didn't help. As soon as I hit the guardrail, my airbags came out, and because of the airbags and seatbelt, the injuries weren't nearly as bad as they could have been. She continued writing, but what I do remember is going in and out of consciousness, screaming for help, and cars just continued to pass. It felt like I had been laying there for at least 20 minutes begging for help. Thankfully, a good Samaritan pulled over on the side of the road and helped her get police to the scene. Savannah thanks the man who pulled over and helped, but also reveals that she's gotten some backlash from critics who believe she in some way, quote, deserved to be the victim of the life-threatening moment. Savannah concludes the post by opening up about what her next couple of months of recovery will look like, writing, "The next month or so, I will be recovering from a broken vertebrae which has caused numbness in my hands and fingers and pain all throughout my neck, back, and shoulders. While recovering physically, I'm going to take time to recover spiritually and mentally as well. I want to be the best version of myself as possible, and that will happen." Very scary stuff. Scary story for her. And of course, Savannah, we hope you get well soon. Well, guys, the latest issue of People features an exclusive prison interview with Jeffrey Macdonald. He's the former Green Beret surgeon who has spent 35 years behind bars for murdering his pregnant wife and 2 children. Jeffrey tells People, "I am innocent. I did not murder my family. I have always told the truth about what happened that night." On February 17th, 1970, Jeffrey's wife Colette and daughters Kim and Kristen were discovered stabbed and bludgeoned to death. Jeffrey was found unconscious and bleeding from wounds in his chest. Jeffrey claimed the family had been attacked by 4 intruders, but investigators later alleged that he had staged the entire crime scene. In 1979, he was convicted of 3 life sentences and could be out of prison by now on parole if he had admitted his guilt. But he tells People that's something he will never do, saying, "My goal is to walk out of prison a free and vindicated man, not just a free man. I won't go any other way." Wow, I recently sat down with People senior editor Alicia Dennis, who revealed 3 important things to know about this case, including why it is similar in some ways to the Charles Manson murders. Watch.
Charles Manson's followers over 2 days in August of 1969 carried out these horrific crimes where they stabbed their victims and then used their victims' blood to write on the walls of the crime scene. And they used the word pig on the walls of the crime scene. Now, in Jeffrey Macdonald's case, the word pig was written on the headboard that he shared with Colette.
Wow, gruesome and frightening and weird. Despite Jeffrey's account of what happened, though, he was eventually convicted of murdering his wife and 2 children, sentenced to 3 life sentences. What led federal prosecutors to file charges against him?
Well, federal prosecutors presented a case where they believed that an argument had gone wrong between Jeffrey Macdonald and his wife, and that resulted in this murderous rampage. They tried to lay out within that crime scene different blood evidence that they said proved that he was the killer. He's denied that from the beginning.
So when it comes to motive, just an argument?
The motive, yes, just an argument, and he's pointed to that motive not being one that should have held up, and he really has held strong to the fact that he says that 4 intruders came and that they perpetrated this attack.
Wow, really, really interesting. Now, Jeffrey is 73 years old. He's still serving time for the crimes. On January 26th, the 4th Circuit Court of Appeals will hear oral arguments about Jeffrey's claims of innocence. What evidence does Jeffrey's legal team have that they hope will lead to his exoneration?
Well, Jeffrey's defense team really is putting a lot of hope in this hearing. They are going to present evidence that they say DNA testing shows that there was a hair underneath one of Kristen's fingernails that doesn't match anyone in the family, that there was a bloody handprint that doesn't match, and then they're also going to look at some synthetic hairs that then they think supports the argument that there was a woman in a blonde wig there at the crime scene.
And for more information on the Jeffrey Macdonald case, pick up the latest issue of People on newsstands everywhere Friday, and watch Investigation Discovery's People Magazine Investigates on January 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's a wild story.
Yes, definitely a very wild story.
And crazy
there.
to think that he could have been out of prison had he made some sort of deal earlier on. So.
Well, switching gears a little bit, let's check in with Facebook Live. Loretta's watching in Texas where it's raining. We'll stay dry, Loretta.
Yeah, we're talking to Olympian and 16-year-old Lori Hernandez soon. She is living her dreams. So we wanted to know, what was your dream job growing up? That's our Facebook question of the day.
Yes, and Edward says, my dream job is to work behind the scenes on a TV show.
All right, give us a call. We'll Sheila says, my dream job was to become a nurse, and that's that's what I am. Congratulations.
Amazing, living your dream job. I love that. Khaled's watching in Pakistan. He says, my dream job is working in business, and I have it now. Amazing.
People living their dreams everywhere. Here's what you have to say about some of our other headlines. Deidre says she's glad Savannah Chrisley is okay, and we are too. Man, that's scary.
Angel's watching in Hawaii, where it's 3 a.m. Wow, thanks for being up so early. Or late,
staying up late.
Yeah, I don't know who wake up that early.
Partying on a weeknight. All right, guys, keep the Facebook comments coming in. We're going to check in with you again soon. But first, Andrea, more trending news. The Clooneys, always good stuff.
Yes, I do, Jeremy. So Amal Clooney was among the most influential women in the world, gathered at the World Economic Forum annual meeting in Switzerland on Tuesday. Along with her husband, George Clooney, Amal attended the Women of Impact dinner hosted by publisher Tina Brown and co-hosted by Credit Suisse in Davos, Switzerland, where the World Economic Forum is hosting its 46th annual meeting. Amal and her Nobel Peace Prize nominated client, Nadia Murad, appeared as honored guests at Brown's Women of Impact dinner on Tuesday night. Vice President Joe Biden also attended the event, which was themed Mastering the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and examined the way technology is changing in the world. Earlier in the day, close friend of the Clooneys, Matt Damon, spoke to guests of the World Economic Forum about his water charity, water.org. The website is trying to raise a $55 million fund that would provide microloans to finance projects that build access to clean water in developing countries. Last week, George and Amal appeared together at a special reception hosted by the Clooney Foundation for Justice in support of the Netflix documentary White Helmets. This is about the work done by heroic Syrians to help those hit by bombings in the country. Asked about bringing his star power to causes, Clooney told People, the only reason that people who are well-known should be involved in these kinds of things is when no one knows about them. All right, moving on to this. Selena Gomez and The Weeknd had everybody talking after a romantic dinner, making them Hollywood's new it couple, but not everybody is happy with the new pair. The Weeknd, also known as Abel Tesfaye, previously dated Bella Hadid, and his ex has hurt feelings over the new couple. One day after Selena and The Weeknd were spotted kissing, Bella unfollowed the Good For You singer on Instagram and posted a pic of herself flipping the bird. A source tells People Bella and Abel's split wasn't dramatic, but of course she's hurt and pissed that he's moved on so quickly with Selena. The insider adds that Bella was the one that ultimately pulled the plug on their romance. Multiple sources tell People that Gomez and Hadid were never close friends and there was no betrayal involved. A People source explains, Selena knows Bella through Taylor Swift and her squad, but they've never been close. The source goes on to explain that Selena and The Weeknd met a while ago and connected over music, and that their romance is new and nothing serious yet. Well, no matter what, I think we can all get behind maybe a collaboration between Selena Gomez and The Weeknd, maybe. Right. Am I right?
Do it.
All right, guys, watch this. Britt Marling is the star and creator of Netflix's new sci-fi series, The OA, which tells the story of a young woman who strangely disappears for 7 years after suffering a near-death experience as a young girl. But if it wasn't for her leaving a cozy desk job at Goldman Sachs to follow her dreams, the addictive series might not have ever existed. The 33-year-old writer, producer, and actor graduated college with a degree in economics, but quickly transitioned to acting after realizing the career path she chose was not for her. Well, I just sat down with Netflix's newest rising star, so I wanted to know what inspired Britt to make that risky decision. Watch this. You have an interesting story because, like you said, you weren't even in acting, and then you traveled to Cuba to do a documentary. It's a scary decision to kind of do that. You know, how were you able to take that risk?
I think maybe because I had lived the backup plan first.
Okay.
You know, I think sometimes people have something they want to do and they have the backup plan, and it becomes hard to do plan A because doing something different or strange or outside the box or being an artist in any capacity is just difficult. There's no clear path. So usually you hit some resistance and then you sort of fall on your backup plan because it makes more sense and it's stable and you can have a vision for what your life is going to be. I think what I did is I accidentally lived the backup plan first. So there was just no backup plan. So it just felt like, well, it's this or it's nothing. And that kind of, I think, you put a different energy then into it because there's no safety net. You know, you're walking the high wire and you just can't fall.
Seemed like it worked. What advice would you give to people who are afraid to follow their dreams and maybe see you and are really inspired?
Oh, that's a lovely thing to think. I don't know if it's true. I mean, I guess I would say, I guess I would say that maybe, if anything, I think what I've learned from talking with people who have had near-death experiences is that this all happens a lot more quickly than we think. Like, we're just here for a blink. It's like we're like the universe, like losing an eyelash or just shrugging something off. You know, life is so short. And so I think if you really hold that concept of time in your head, you find yourself capable of pretty radical things if you can give yourself permission to not be afraid, you know, because you only get one round of it, at least so far as we know.
Well, some amazing advice there. And of course, I could not let Britt go without talking about some of Netflix's other hit series, since, let's face it, there's a lot. Britt revealed to me her absolute favorite show on the video streaming platform. Any guesses? Check it out.
I loved Stranger Things.
Yeah.
The Duffer Brothers are friends of ours, and I mean, they are so talented. I loved that show so much that I couldn't binge it because I wanted to save it. So that like I every day I'd get home from work and could still have a chapter left to watch. So it's really
Did you meet any of the cast of Stranger Things?
I haven't. I hope to, though. I would love to meet. Winona Ryder I met once. We were both on a panel at Sundance, a jury at Sundance at the same time. So I've met her before, and she's wonderful in the show.
People are gravitating towards these sci-fi kind of series.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I think part of it might be that maybe as the world becomes more complex, more interconnected, we secretly desire a little more magic, fantasy in our lives. And so sci-fi kind of offers this escapism, or like a slightly different lens with which to look at reality.
Guys, at just 16 years old, Lori Hernandez has quite the resume. Olympic gold medal gymnast, Dancing with the Stars mirror ball trophy winner, and now she can add author to that list. Yes, Hernandez wrote a memoir. It's out January 24th. It's called I Got This, to Gold and Beyond. It's our Toyota People pick of the day. And the gymnast not only graces the pages of this week's People magazine, but she also sat down with Andrea and me to talk all about her whirlwind of a year, but more importantly, what it was like meeting Beyonce. Plus, we even got her to reveal her celebrity crush. Check this out.
You know, we had some amazing nominees, and we weren't sure like who we were gonna get, but when we opened the card and we all read Beyonce, it wasn't just like, and the winner is Beyonce. It was like, the winner is Beyonce!
Right.
We were freaking out because we were like, oh, like, she's actually gonna come on stage now. And then she came up, she hugged all of us, and it's just looking at each other like,
Yeah, right, like this is her.
I feel like normally you don't want to get scratched by someone's outfit, but in this case, you were like probably really
in
happy.
this case, I was like, please.
Whatever.
You got to tell us about Kanye. Was he as sort of intimidating as people think he would be?
I mean, I thought he would be a little bit intimidating, but I got him to smile, and that's really good luck. So.
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like that's very, very rare. Did you see Kim or get to meet Kim at all?
I did, yeah.
You did?
Yeah, she knew us, so that was really cool. And I think Simone sent her like leotards or something, and then we got like a couple of like makeup stuff from her, so yeah.
It's just hearing your stories, you know, just the casual one-offs of the people that you've met and everything else is so incredible. Is there a celebrity, anyone sort of left out there that you're dying to meet that's on the sort of bucket list?
Maybe Dave Franco.
When do you think you'll start training for the next Olympics?
I don't know, probably soon. I mean, I'll take a small break, but at the same time, we have like 3 years left. So it would be pretty small, but at the same time, I do plan on coming back.
So the interesting thing in your book, you talk about some of the injuries, some of the setbacks that you've had along the way, and obviously, you know, for every gymnast, I feel like there's this sort of this journey that has ups and downs and everything else. What's your message to kids out there who are just getting into gymnastics, who have you as an icon, and they want to aspire to the greatness that the things that you've accomplished?
I think it would just be to keep moving forward, because every so often you get like these minor setbacks or big setbacks, whatever they might be, but at the same time it would just be to keep moving forward, because yes, that'll happen, but at the same time it's like in those moments, those are when you realize how much you love this sport and how much you want to come back, and it's like those down moments really make you grateful for the good moments.
All right, guys, stay with us. Legendary TV mom Florence Henderson is remembered in Hollywood. We are taking you inside her touching tribute. Plus, the red carpet premiere for Matthew McConaughey's new movie Gold, coming right at you in just 30 seconds. Stick around.
This is King Cutie in People. His Royal Highness Prince George Alexander Louis of Cambridge. These are George's parents, George's home, his Nana, the Queen, and his staff of 644 Englishmen. This is George's dog Lupo, who inspired his favorite book, The Adventures of the Royal Dog Lupo, one George will share now that he's a big brother. People. The details make the story. Don't miss this week's People.
Well, obviously have a very adorable family, and you and Vanessa definitely keep it together. What is your secret to having this rock-solid marriage?
I don't think there's necessarily anything that's rock solid about any marriage. I mean, it's always
True,
it's always about that balance of, especially when you have kids, spending time with the kids, but also carving out the time for the two of you. I think we tried to do a really good job of making sure we stay true to what kind of got you there in the first place. You know, it's important you spend time, together, just the two of you. But it's also, I mean, family is everything, so it's important to spend time as a family. So, it's kind of cliche, but communication, I think, is the biggest thing in a relationship. You have to talk, you have to express yourselves. You don't want to look back and resent not being heard,
This is Jennifer Lawrence in People. This is Jennifer photobombing Taylor Swift, and Sarah Jessica Parker and Liam Hemsworth, proving that while we all love the fashion of the red carpet, it's people who steal the show. People. The details make the story.
It's that time again. The stars are on the move, and we're following them in today's edition of Star Trek. Matthew McConaughey, Bryce Dallas Howard, Edgar Ramirez, and more gathered on Tuesday night for the New York City red carpet premiere of their new movie, Gold. The film, which is inspired by true events, tells the story of a man, played by McConaughey, who suspects a huge motherlode of gold in the deep forests of Indonesia. Yet, shooting Indonesia came with its own danger and challenges for the cast, such as random monsoons and McConaughey shooting scenes with a real-life tiger. Watch this. It's very, very scary. Well, major props to McConaughey for that. And the Oscar-winning star also had to undergo some serious physical changes. He shaved his head and gained a good amount of weight for the role, much to the surprise of his unassuming co-stars. Watch this.
Like, I knew that he had gained some weight, so he's got his belly. The hair was a bit of a surprise. The teeth, I guess a revelation. Didn't really pick up on them at first. Then, of course, there were some kissing scenes. But he was definitely not anything like what I expected to see. He's completely transformed himself.
And the film's director, Stephen Gaghan, also seemed a little shocked at the transformation, so much so that he sent a pic to his mom, who had the best reaction. Watch this.
I took a picture of him when he was finally in costume. In Thailand, like we're getting ready. We haven't started shooting, but we're close. And now he's all in there and he's in character. And I snapped a photo and I texted it to my mother in Kentucky. So 1 second later from Kentucky, a text comes back to me. And she's Southern, so she said, "Oh, darling, what have you done to that beautiful man?"
That's hilarious. Love that. If you want to check out McConaughey's new look for yourself, be sure to check out Gold in theaters January 27th. All right, moving on to some more movie news this morning. Our favorite pretty woman, Julia Roberts, will be hitting the big screen for the new Sony Pictures animation series, Smurfs: The Lost Village. And this is your exclusive first look, and I think she is very cute as a Smurf. Roberts will be voicing the mysterious Smurf Willow opposite Mandy Patinkin, who stars in the series as the wise patriarch of the Smurf clan, Papa Smurf. Although there have been previous live-action Smurf movies before, this new and improved reboot of the beloved Belgian comics will exclusively feature CGI animated technology, as well as an all-star cast that also includes Demi Lovato, Joe Manganiello, Rainn Wilson, and more. When asked how she felt about joining the beloved Smurf franchise, Roberts exclusively told People about her excitement, saying this: "Smurfs are such a fun part of our animated culture. They were popular when I was a child, and they were popular when my kids were little. It's fun to be part of such a sweet group." Well, we certainly cannot wait to see Roberts and the rest of the cast in the new film. Smurfs: The Lost Island hits theaters April 7th of this year. And if you want to catch more of Julia Roberts and updates on the new movie, make sure to pick up your copy of People on newsstands everywhere Friday. All right, moving on to this. Ryan Lochte may have had a rough go of it in 2016, but looks like 2017 is already shaping up to be a pretty great year for the decorated Olympic swimmer. Lochte, who got engaged to model girlfriend Kayla Ray Reid back in October, plans to add 2 more titles to his resume in the new year: husband and father. The 32-year-old Olympian is looking forward to marrying Kayla sometime next fall. And as for little baby Lochte, well, the soon-to-be swimmer arrives in June. Uh-oh, Ryan, that is coming up pretty quickly here. Luckily, the 12-time Olympic medalist cannot wait to be a hands-on dad, saying this: One of my biggest fears in life is not being a good dad. I can't wait to be a father. I want to be the dad who's there every step of the way, teaching our baby everything I've learned during my career and life. Well, very cute. In the meantime, though, Ryan and Kayla have been house hunting in LA while Lochte pursues an acting career and trains for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. All in a day's work, right? Well, to read more about Lochte and all of his exciting plans for 2017, make sure to pick up your copy of People on newsstands Friday. Speaking of kids and family, remember this?
Pork chops and applesauce. Isn't that swell?
Yes, love the Brady Bunch. I think it's safe to say that Florence Henderson was the mother we all loved growing up. Florence, who passed away in November of last year at the age of 82, was honored Sunday night at the Television Academy in North Hollywood. Stars like Carol Burnett, Katie Couric, and fellow Brady Bunch co-stars gathered for the special event. Good friend Judge Judy also attended and spoke fondly of the late actress. Watch this.
Florence was a girl for all seasons. Her youthful and positive spirit continued to surround me, although I wish she was speaking through the door. I know she's looking out for all the people that she loved, and I'm thrilled to be among them.
Well, very sweet. And Florence Henderson's career spanned over 6 decades. Although best known for her Brady Bunch role, Florence also appeared in numerous films and television series. Her final project, the big screen crime caper, Grandmother's Murder Club, is set for release later this year. And those are your Star Treks for today. All right, moving on to this. William Michael Morgan sang his way into our hearts with his #1 single, I Met a Girl. And you know when they say that art imitates life? Well, I recently spoke with the country crooner about how he proposed to Runaway June's Jennifer Wayne. But come on, I really wanted to know how he met this girl. Check it out.
I met her at a show in Lake Shake in Chicago, a festival, and didn't give me the time of day.
Really?
Just kind of said, hey, and hit the road, you know.
So she played really hard to get.
Oh yeah, I snuck on in there, though.
How did you win her over?
Well, I'm not a big wine drinker. I am now, because of her.
Okay.
She, her and her girls there in Runaway June, we played another show shortly after that, I guess about 2 weeks after that or so, a North Carolina radio show. And long story short, I said, I'm gonna talk. I'm getting in there. I'm doing it this time.
Yeah.
And so I gave her no choice. You know, I said, let's hang out. You know, let's do this. You know, let's go do something, drink a drink or something. You know. And so we ended up going back to their hotel and drinking some wine, which I don't even like wine at that point.
At that point.
So I'm just going, oh yeah, this is really good. Yeah. But yeah, that's really how we met, and it was kind of quick from there. You know, we started dating and.
Many wine bottles later.
Many wine and champagne bottles later. Here's this old redneck is.
And then I know you're not a big planner, but was there a moment where you thought this is the one? I mean, when did you realize that this is the person?
Oh, when I first met her.
Really?
Yeah, when I first.
Even when she was playing hard to get? And...
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's the one. I knew it.
That's amazing.
I always wanted somebody like my mom.
Okay.
Somebody that's so sweet and caring and an angel like my mom, and I think this is her.
I met a girl, she made me smile.
Now, any plan for any duets coming up? Would you ever collaborate with her?
Oh, you know what? I would love to with her group. You know, I would love to do that. Runaway June, Naomi is one of the best singers I think I've ever heard in my life. So, especially female singers. I mean, she's so great, and they're country. You know, the real country, and that's what I like. So.
Yeah. What would you say is the perfect date night for you and your fiance?
Watching Netflix, ordering pizza.
And wine.
And wine.
Come on. If you're going to go out on the town, you're going to take her out.
We go out enough. When we get home, we want to go home, baby. We want to just chill.
Netflix and chill. All right.
I want to wear that man's hat.
I know.
Let's check back in on Facebook Live. Kelly's watching with her Bulldog Jr. in Ontario.
Cute.
Good morning, Kelly, and good morning to G.
Yeah, good morning. Well, based on our conversation with Olympic gymnast Laurie Hernandez, we wanted to know what your dream job was growing up. Jennifer says, my dream job is crime scene investigation.
Ooh, that's a
wow.
Lisa Marie says, my dream job is to be a storm chaser. I wish.
That
Have you watched the movies? That is so dangerous.
Susie says, says, my son's dream job is being a monster truck driver. That's pretty fun.
I hope he gets that dream. That would be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Corliss says her dream job is retirement, and we are with you on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Corliss.
Deidre loves that Lori Hernandez has a new book out. She writes good for her.
Loretta says, love how graceful Lori is. She was. Even before, during, and after our interview with her, she was just the coolest girl
And
ever.
here's what else got you guys talking. Andrea commented on the Jordan Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers feud. She writes, leave Aaron alone, go Green Bay, go. Yes. I mean, Packers do have a big game on Sunday, so we were all rooting for them.
Yeah, Alexandra says, the OA is amazing.
And she was so wonderful.
I'm like 4 episodes in.
Yes.
Can't wait for more of that.
Jane says, love Julia Roberts. Sherry, Casey, and Larry are also excited for the new Smurfs movie, which looks really good.
Good addition to that. Laura says, love your show, Jeremy and Andrea. Well, we love you for watching, Laura.
Love you,
so
Laura.
much.
Thank you.
And coming up tomorrow, guys, we'll have even more for you. Bryce Dallas Howard compares Chris Pratt and Matthew McConaughey's breath after sharing kissing scenes with both actors. This is all the important stuff you want to know. The OA star Britt Marling is back dishing on what it was like working with Brad Pitt for her Netflix series.
Yes, well, thanks for watching. And for now, we leave you with one last thing from Shadowhunter star Matthew Daddario. Enjoy.
See you guys.
Hi, my name is Matthew Daddario, and this is One Last Thing. The last time I laughed so hard, I cried. I was at dinner, and we had some wine, and we were all doing impressions of things, and it was very, very funny. The last song I sang at karaoke is a very loose definition of karaoke, but I sang Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. My last boys' night out was spent with this guy right here, Alberto. It was just yesterday, and it was a wild time.
Hey YouTube! Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment if you enjoyed it. And for more People Now, click on the subscribe button down here.
And check out more great video right now by clicking on one of these links.